Hello, this is tutorial about StarTrinity Softswitch for GSM termination, and we'll talk about SIM blocking and how to use our Softswitch to terminate international voice or IP traffic with Softswitch and GSM gateways. And we are with Zishan,
Hello.
our partner, and wholesaler also, GSM terminator. Okay, so let's start with general routing configuration in the Softswitch, in StarTrinity
hmm
Softswitch. Okay, yeah, so there are originators, service plans, tariffs, routing groups, destination sets, and terminators. And here's a diagram about the routing. So first, there are customers. Um,
Yeah, customer can be three types: retail customer, wholesale customer, and yeah.
VoIP retail customer, yes, and they make SIP calls over SIP protocol to StarTrinity Softswitch.
hmm
This box, and in Softswitch, customers are called originators.
Right.
Originators, yeah.
In the switch, they're called originator. Yeah.
Uh-huh. And the call can go as from VoIP retail customer. The customer can dial a DID number. For example, from Canada, an immigrant in Canada can
hmm
dial a DID number without any VoIP application on a mobile phone. He can dial a DID local DID number and enter his PIN code. And in this way, he will get into the system and he'll get connected to Originator.
Right.
Um,
Mhm.
there can be pinless dialing, just simple DID forwarding. So they just dial some purchase DID number, and Softswitch understands what is the originator. Uh, well, another it is when the customer is terminator and originator and at one time. And the most common use case is wholesale customer, not retail.
Yeah.
And in this case, customer sends the call from IP to IP. And the soft switch can run on multiple IP addresses on on a Windows server. An additional IP address is about $2 per month. So the soft switch understands source IP address of the SIP call and it understands what's the originator.
hmm
Okay, I will show the uh, soft switch user interface and originator configuration now. So originators are in configuration and originators. This is demo account on our StarTrinity Softswitch. There are few demo originators.
Yeah. So
Uh,
someone like as client, we add originators, and
we can
for
add new originator here.
hmm
We need to, for every record in the Softswitch, there is an ID. It's like identifier or short name of
hmm
originator. So we can enter some originator and max channels and select parameters, routing, and this is for billing. And here is test originator Netherlands. Here it means receiving test calls from Netherlands server.
yes.
Okay, and here are details of originator, and we see
We add the
IP
originator IP address for the client.
IP address of client. Yeah. So this IP address of client is in originator details, and technical prefix is optional. It is empty here. So these are two things to configure for wholesale.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Now, originator passes call to routing group.
Routing groups. Yep.
And routing groups are in Softswitch. Routing groups. Here's RG1. And the routing group has multiple items inside. And it tells what is terminator and destination set. Destination set here is a list of prices.
The terminator's price.
Terminator's price. Yeah. Items, there is destination set, price list for not for customers, but for
the terminator, that means the vendor's price, right?
For vendors rates. And well, the billing is optional, and it can be empty or not set. The destination set and service plan. So billing is optional when you need to use the Softswitch only for filtering, you can
just leave everything zero. Yeah, zero, and
you can set voice rates price equal to 0, or you can just not set any service plan or destination set in the Softswitch.
Yes.
And the price will be 0 in CDR. Just no price in CDR.
Okay. That's the only when filtering.
Yeah. When you only need filter.
Yeah.
Okay. Terminator. From routing group item, there could be multiple items in one group. Like try call here and try call there. Try to call many gateways, for example.
Yes.
Then you should add multiple items in group. You can set up a load balancing here. It is configured by routing policy. Here, wait. There is wait and priority and wait. So these policies are for load balancing, and you can enter wait, for example, 20% and 40% and another 40% to terminators, to gateways. And distribute calls between multiple gateways. Okay, then there is also hunt-stop zip code. When first item in list, first terminator responds with busy code. This is 486 busy. When number is busy, there is no reason to make call using more terminators, more GSM gateways. So it is clear that it's busy. And we respond to originator that call cannot be established with busy status code.
Because when it finds busy, then it won't try the other terminators.
Sorry, what?
When it finds busy, then it won't go to other terminators.
It will not go to other terminators. Yes, and there could be multiple zip codes.
Yes.
Or number is not found. For example, 550
404.
4044 is number is not valid like that. It depends on
Yeah.
gateway what it
Okay.
responds. Okay, it's about routing group items, and it goes to terminator here. Terminator, these are terminators, for example, and terminators are ways to connect to GSM gateways. So and there are many ways to connect GSM gateways. You see here, first as terminators by IP address. When call goes to IP address of GSM gateway, and it needs to be a public IP address, publicly accessible. There are VPN services for gateways, SBO services which provide connection to gateway, and the Softswitch makes calls to SBO, for example.
Okay.
And another way is register.
To register.
Register, and in this case, this terminator makes call to registered terminator, and now the Softswitch shows warning error that the terminator is not registered here. Terminator should send register to this IP address of Softswitch. And the good thing about register, register. What is register in SIP? It is when gateway sends a signal to Softswitch server that I am here at this IP address, and the IP address can be internal. No public IP is needed. Public IP costs additional money, and it's additional cost to pay for public IP. And in using register,
no public ID needed. Just
call
directly connect to the Softswitch.
Yeah, and there could be direct connection using public IP also. But it needs additional configuration of router. Well, for register, when Softswitch receives register to terminator, it sends invite the calls back to same IP where it received a register from. So it understands IP of GSM gateway from the register, and you can switch internet connection here. So, for example, use 4G connection, internet connection in office. You can move gateways easily and just register from new place here, and it's useful. And the register can go over TLS if the internet provider blocks SIP. Register can go over TLS. It is encrypted protocol, so the internet provider cannot block SIP, and it is same for originators also for VoIP retail. For example, in Dubai, the internet is blocked. Well, most common country, United Arab Emirates, with immigrants who want to make calls, but government blocks the internet. So to make the SIP voice over IP connection encrypted, you can use SIP over TLS, and it could be a mobile application with support of TLS. There are some open source VoIP clients for mobile. So I mean, the SIP can be encrypted like HTTPS, the SIP can be encrypted and it will not be blocked.
Yeah.
Or you can change SIP port or on the Softswitch. Okay, it's about connection to gateway. And another routing, this is all about routing actually.
Yes.
Well, there is also billing part if you need to calculate charges for wholesale customer. Service plan, it is configured in, well, in Originator. For every originator here, there is service plan. Here, service plan. It could be no billing or it could be some service plan. And for, sorry, service plans are here. And from service plan, there's a link to tariff. It's price list for customer. And there are these things, options to enable IVR for VoIP retail. It is for retail originators or pin code and so Switch can play like remaining balance or out of balance for retail customer. This is for VoIP retail.
It's, yeah, VoIP retail, right?
And tariff, we go to tariff and there is list of prices, just demo prices here.
Yeah, it's the selling rate.
Selling, yes, selling tariff is selling here, and destination set, it's
the buying rate.
Buying rate destination. There are some example. This is buying rate. It can be updated in real time, so you update and it is immediately applied in the system. So switch. Okay, it's about billing. In Terminator, I didn't talk about the configuration of IP. Here's IP, destination IP address for where to send calls from Terminator. Okay, there could be multiple IP addresses, local SIP addresses. Okay, and I have explained these things, basic
Yeah,
things.
these are just basic routing. So
Basic.
wholesaler.
What is good in StarTrinity Softswitch? It has callxml scripts in originators, and it could be for advanced routing and IVR FAS. Well, FAS is a bad thing, and we don't support it for live people. But what I don't like is spam generated traffic, dialer traffic from call center. I don't like when people get disturbed by automated calls, like marketing calls. And well, I allow using FAS in StarTrinity Softswitch for such traffic, only for CC traffic, marketing traffic, which is generated by dialer software. And there could be FAS in Softswitch using the callxml scripts, and it is here. Well, there is tutorial first.
Everything can be found on the website.
Well, not everything, and sometimes it's not updated because I don't have enough time to write and update tutorials, and but people can contact me by Skype if they have specific questions. It is an outdated tutorial now, but it is good. It is still good. There is explanation of basic things. CDR, call details. There is a GSM termination tutorial on our website. GSM termination guide. It's a main thing to read for GSM terminators.
GSM termination, yeah.
Yeah. So about sim blocking, it's a very complex thing. And there is also a web page about FAS, Softswitch, so where
It's on XML documentation.
yeah, callxml documentation. There is there are example scripts.
Examples, yeah, on the example.
Examples. There are many examples. These are for zip tester, and for Softswitch, there is FAS web page, and there are XML codes for FAS. And you can just copy this script, copy script, and paste into originator details. In originator details, there is script type, callxml script type, and it is default normal call transfer. And you can enter your own script here. This is demo, and I cannot edit the settings, but you can enter custom script, okay, and enter this script into Softswitch. And callxml, there are different videos about callxml. We'll not talk about it in detail here, but for example, here, callxml, we transfer call to transfer means creating call leg B and connecting to call leg B. And it has parameters simulate FAS after connection equals true. True. And transfer and after transfer with probability 10%, we check schedule. This is checking of schedule, and here is FAS. And this is not like simple IVR FAS. Here it is extra billing after call. It is long duration FAS. It is extra billing after call. So we hold the call leg A here by this wait statement. This is more simple script. So just transfer and wait after connection. But call leg A can terminate. And if it is generated traffic, automatic dialer traffic, the dialer doesn't understand sound coming from terminator. So if the dialer is simple and if dialer doesn't analyze any sound from destination, it will be overbilling, and it means profit actually.
Yeah.
So why not? That's good. And if a real person is calling, he will hear silence, and the call leg A will be dropped anyway. But with some delay, some very short delay, depending on what is delay between when they hear silence and they connect the call from A side. Okay, it's about FAS. Next thing, callxml looped traffic receiver. I don't have diagram now, but what does it mean? Looped generated traffic. Many people are interested, so generated traffic. It is when some wholesaler, so wholesaler A, he has StarTrinity Softswitch, and he wants to send traffic to some wholesaler B, and that wholesaler B sends to wholesaler C or whatever, or maybe some other wholesalers C, D, E, and that traffic may call back to wholesaler A. So that is loop. Do you understand this loop?
Yes. Yeah.
And the thing is that we need to make traffic in loop and keep the calls which are received back connected, and immediately abort calls that go to another route. So if they don't come back, if a call goes to another route, if it doesn't
It will drop.
come back, if it doesn't come back, we terminate the call immediately. So this is looped traffic. It can be generated for many different purposes, and it is needed when you have bilateral agreement and you need to receive return traffic. So this is return traffic, most common reason. But there are many other reasons. Main thing is to manipulate money here, manipulate balance and debts. There can be some other schemes when it is used just to make money. The loop traffic, and it has to look like normal traffic. There is random configuration. Where I'll show you loop traffic. It is in configuration. There are dialer campaigns thing. Also, there is DC demo, another demo account. Let me find it. So here is demo account on StarTrinity Softswitch for dialer campaigns. Dialer campaign is traffic generator here. Dialer campaigns. There are two demo campaigns here, and this demo Softswitch is configured for looped traffic. So dialer campaign, for example, this one. What do we see? Loop traffic generator. It has also script type, callxml script type. It could be custom also, custom callxml manually entered. Here it is configured by web UI. Okay, so this dialer campaign generates calls with random CLIs. This is caller ID, and this is pattern for caller ID. And there is also pattern for B number. This is A number, this is B number. And the incoming part in Softswitch originator details what looped, it has script type loop traffic receiver. So in our diagram, here we have a dialer campaign when we generate, and when we receive back, we have originator. So these are two items to configure for loop traffic. And we talked about patterns for A and B numbers. It could be number list. And number list is another item in the menu. New tab. Just list of A and B numbers. And you can view the numbers, just example numbers, and you can upload them from TXT or CSV file. Just numbers for call generation. Okay. And the dialer campaign generates traffic based on pattern or based on number list. So campaign 2 uses number lists. Okay. And there is option to repeat infinitely the number list, or just or make just one call per item. If I uncheck this, I cannot save it. It is demo account.
Demo, right? Okay.
And change CLI every 1
minute, right?
every one call. If I put 2, it will make 2 calls for every
CLI.
Every CLI. And B list of B numbers is here also. You can upload your WAV file, which is played here in configure audio files. You can upload some IVR files from local computer. Upload WAV files. Music. Here is the music, and this is ringback tone. What's next? Maximum ring time in dialer campaign if call doesn't answer, and maximum connected time. These are basic settings for call generator. Max ring time. If the call is not connected, it is terminated. And in originator, there is configuration for ASR. So originator doesn't accept all the calls, just to make it look not like 100 ASR. Not all calls are connected, but only 40% of calls are connected. And incoming script plays ringback tone and music file.
For the connected, right?
When it is connected, it plays this music file. And it can also play a list of pair A and B pairs. So some customers are interested to make it look like very real call, not music, because these intermediate wholesalers, ABCD, they check, they can record the call and listen. Is it like real call or not? Is it generated traffic? They will not pay for generated traffic. Then what? You can enter pattern for audio files. This is example pattern. And here are 2 digits. It means 100 pairs of WAV files. So, and these files, the recordings there should be real recordings of conversations from real traffic from A leg and B leg, and our Softswitch records it also in CDR. In Originator there are settings, details to record
Yeah, they're called
RX and
RT.
TX, RX and
Yeah,
TX, and these are pairs of sounds from color from A to B
and from the
and
collie.
from B to, yeah,
Yeah.
and
Mm-hmm.
reverse.
Reverse. Yeah.
These are paired recordings.
Yeah.
So the Softswitch is able to simulate very natural looped traffic, and max build duration is just limit when the call will be terminated. It is random
Right.
duration, also to make it look real, and this is it configures ACD, average between two random values is ACD. It's about loop
Yes.
traffic, and well,
Mm-hmm.
there could be also schedule to change volume of traffic. And if people who watch this video, if you want us to make something more complex, okay, we will do. Uh, if it's a really good feature, we will do for free. And if it's popular, if it's really needed, or we can talk about some contracts for development.
Mm-hmm.
And so there could be also schedule, I mean, for this generated traffic.
Right. Okay.
Okay. What else in our plan? I also want to talk about filters. There are filters.
Mm-hmm.
What does a filtering mean? Well, the sim get blocked because of test calls.
Test calls. Yeah.
Test calls, yeah. So this is very important thing. Maybe all GSM terminators already understand, or what do you see from your experience? Do they understand test
Yeah.
calls?
Yeah.
Yeah,
They do.
yeah, they
They do
understand.
understand because
So
yeah.
first reason of sim blocking is uh, invalid behavior, not valid behavior of SIM card, suspicious activity of SIM card, too many outgoing calls, too
No
many
incoming calls. Just
no incoming calls, only outgoing calls and no incoming calls, calls from one location only.
mm-hmm.
These things are best simulated by GSM gateways.
Mm-hmm.
There are Antrax, IQ sim, well, many gateways here on this diagram. There are many gateway vendors. Uh, where is it? Yeah. Dinstar also.
Mm-hmm.
Dinstar have a cloud system to simulate human
The
behavior.
human behavior. Yeah.
This is this could be very complex. There could be simulation of internet activity from SIM card.
Yeah. I think China Skyline has that.
China Skyline has
Yeah.
that's good.
They have like browsing. So the sim does random browsing
Yeah,
on the
that's
internet.
good. That's good. And
Mm-hmm.
from our side, StarTrinity side, it's not. We can only make calls, and it's very hard to do these kind of things from Softswitch. And it's
Mm-hmm.
not possible to make the SIM card access web page. Well, it's not in C protocol, and
Mm-hmm.
but we also have the very basic human behavior simulation in the Softswitch here. GoIP gateways. For GoIP gateways, we have list of SIMs, and we have channels, and there are limits per SIM, just limits per SIM card.
Mhm.
No calling between SIM cards, but well, we can develop, but I don't have enough resources and demand
Mhm.
for this complex
Yeah.
simulation.
For
Better
now, they have just basic.
just basic
Yeah.
limit of activity on SIM card, interval between calls, and there is also automated USSD recharging in our switch.
Yes.
These are for GoIP and better if it is done by GSM gateway vendors. And I
Mhm.
wonder why doesn't GoIP do it themselves? They think these vendors have too much money and they don't want to develop. But well, there are more expensive gateways.
Yeah, GOIP is like the cheapest one.
It's a cheap, just a very cheap gateway, and more
Mm-hmm.
complex gateways have more features for human behavior simulation with
Mm-hmm.
human. And the task of Softswitch, the main thing that should be done in Softswitch is filtering. This
Right.
filtering of test calls, gateways cannot understand. Is it test call or is
Mm-hmm.
it? It's not. It's not a test call.
Yeah,
So,
gateway can just only simulate the human behavior.
sorry.
Gateway can just only simulate the human
Yes,
behavior.
they
The yeah.
they should only simulate human behavior, and the settings should be manually configured for every destination, and
Mm-hmm.
it is changed over time. When operator updates algorithms to block sims,
Mm-hmm.
terminator should update rules for human behavior simulation accordingly, and they should research it uh, all the time. Why sim is blocked? Why it's not blocked? It's
Hmm.
and there is tutorial on the website for that.
Okay. So.
Okay, here, G, yeah, GSM termination guide. This thing.
Mm-hmm.
In this guide, there is an item configuring Softswitch for whitelist filtering. This is the most powerful filter, actually, the whitelist. But the problem that it needs large CDR history. Uh, so we suggest to filter numbers A and B numbers. Every call
Mm-hmm.
which is received by Softswitch has A and B number, and based on a large history, mm, you can build a whitelist of A and B number pairs with big enough uh, duration. For example, it can analyze history and select pairs of A and B numbers with duration greater than 1 minute to build a whitelist, for example. And after that, use it to filter the traffic. Uh, it's about whitelisting. And for blacklisting, you can analyze history and see which numbers are dialed for many many times with no answer, for example, or with short duration, and
Mm-hmm.
you can filter it in the source switch to blacklist some unwanted traffic. Or,
Mm-hmm.
for example, for wholesaler, if wholesaler wants to break the spam, to block spam traffic, wholesaler can analyze CDR files and understand which calls are used for example, more than 10 calls for two same number with duration less than some threshold. And I'll show it in Softswitch now. In our Softswitch, there's a
Mm-hmm.
menu item imported CDRs. You can import CDR from other Softswitch, or you can use own CDR, so own switch CDRs for this analysis, CDR analysis. And here I will talk about imported CDR sets. You can add a new item with ID, just for reference, the ID. Details. There are names of columns for caller ID, call ID, status code. It is needed to import and to understand what are the files.
Okay.
And you can open the CSV file.
Okay, this is for when I'm importing the other Softswitch CDR, right?
Yes, when this CDR comes from some other source switch, and
Okay.
you need
So
to,
I have to define the columns, like which
yes,
column is what, right?
yes,
Okay.
yes, to define columns.
Mm-hmm.
You
Okay, I understand.
define the columns.
Mhm.
So you should enter names of columns in imported CDR files to import file, and you can enter multiple CSV files in the into the source switch, into one set. That's why it is called set of files. This is imported file, already imported as an example. Yeah, you can delete it here. Then you should go to CDR Analysis, CDR to number list, this item, CDR to number list.
Okay.
And here you can select this set, example
Of
set
CDR.
001. Okay, and you can filter by originator or terminator if you process CDR from exactly this source switch. And for imported CDR, I don't enter any filters. I can enter filter by B number. Then what it does, the grouping, it is like in MS SQL, like you do CDR to number lists. Whereas, well, do you know some basic things about about SQL? There is select, well, other people may know. There is select thing, select some kind of, it's like select ASR, ASR, ACD, from like CDRs, CDR sets, set, and there is a statement group by, and grouping means what defines a single group to calculate ASR and ACD. There is grouping by A and B. If you filter only by B number, if you want to understand, if you don't care about A number, if you ignore it, I mean, you don't group by A, and you group only by B number here. And for grouping, there is a setting suffix length for CLD. This is B number, and you should enter this this number.
Is the length of the CL called dial number?
Yes, dial number, length of dial, but it is,
Okay.
you can analyze only part of it. This is very basic now,
Okay.
and it can be extended. I also want to analyze prefixes, like, for example, if you want to analyze ASR and ACD differences for some different prefixes in CLI. For example, calls from country A are better, calls from country B are worse. And you want to compare ACD from different sources. For example,
Right.
retail traffic with CLI equal, if it is not digits, we will add it later to analyze not only suffixes, but I'll make
Prefixes.
a checkbox. Is CLI a digit? Is it
Mm-hmm.
digit? Does it contain plus
Mm-hmm.
sign in the beginning? And we compare ACD and ISR for this group of calls
Mm-hmm.
with plus and without plus.
Okay.
And people who watch this video, please leave comments. What else you need? It's always good to develop new things based on real feedback. What people really
Mm-hmm. Right.
need. And as an example, well, because I'm not a wholesaler myself and I don't answer real needs, I don't have this business, and I listen to people what they ask, what is needed for grouping. This
Mm-hmm.
grouping is for A and B. Okay, for suffixes only. Okay, now we will try to understand which B numbers are dialed too often and with big duration. So I remove CLI from grouping, and I enter minimum number of attempts in one group, number of calls. That'll be
One.
10. Uh,
Okay. 10.
10. I want to identify spam traffic now.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And spam means too many attempts in one group. And I remove minimum. These things, filters, these are mm, they are used after grouping. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
after, and in SQL, it is syntax where ACD is less than something. It
Mm-hmm.
is where. So people who understand SQL should understand what it means. Where ACD is something, and
Mm-hmm.
it is very basic operation, and it is possible in any database. But
Right.
why it is needed? Why we develop it? Because first, not all people know databases, and uh, they don't have such skills. They need user interface. And another
Mm-hmm.
reason is performance. The performance, because it's very long operation if you analyze large history, and we have our own database engine for CDR reading. It's in C++, and it is
Mm-hmm.
very fast on SSD drives. Okay, okay. It is our own like database engine for queries with groups, just like that. I remove minimum ACD and I just leave maximum ACD. Let be 20 seconds. So by this I consider that call with duration less than 20 seconds is like a spam call. And if call
Mm-hmm.
is longer than 20 seconds, it will not get into results. And minimum ASR, I don't care about ASR here because the imported file only contains connected calls. Only connected calls. So ASR is 100, always 100%. There are no disconnected calls in this CDR. And
Mm-hmm.
I analyze this traffic. Analyze, okay, refresh. It started analysis in background,
Okay.
and we will wait for some time. Refresh. It was fast yesterday. Okay, it's ready now, and we have results. It displays first 100 results. Groups. These are groups.
Mm-hmm.
There is no CLI in this group, only CLD suffix. This is suffix, and it displays number of attempts and ACD for this attempt. So total ACD, general ACD of the traffic could be like 3 minutes, but on some numbers there is much shorter ACD, and just
those are like spam calls, right?
spam calls. Most probably these are spam calls. These are test calls, and
because 100% ASR, right?
no, 100% of ASR is because of imported CDR file. It only contains connected calls. This CDR only contains only connected. That's why ASR is always ASR is always 100%. But duration is short, and we see that these results cover 0.43% of input calls. It means that if we put these numbers into blacklists, and if we don't pass this traffic, we don't have such low duration of calls, and it should improve a total ACD.
Yeah, basically these are blacklisted number, right?
Yes, blacklist. So what's next? It could be downloaded as full information with ASR and ACD, or it could be downloaded as only B number. So download as B number. These are numbers. Numbers. These are numbers, and we import these numbers into blacklists. And blacklists are here in number lists. Number list. Yeah, number list. Choose file. We select it and we import from downloaded. From downloads, import numbers. Import, upload quickly, and we check the imported numbers. Okay, it imported bad.
The suffix
bad. This is not a number, and there was an option to. No, there was no. Well, the first line should be removed. We've had to remove, but it doesn't matter. It is blacklist. It's a blacklist, and there is no such cold number. So all these numbers will be blocked. Will be blocked if we configure it in originators. This is test originator. I go to details, and there is a section filtering. Filtering. This is filter. Don't pass CLD from this suffix-based list. You see this? And we select here numbers. And it is immediately applied, and it is applied on live traffic. And we should see the results in status. In status for here it displays ASR and ACD of live traffic. And so it's just a way to improve ACD, and that could be very helpful for wholesalers who trade any voice traffic if they don't want to pass spam calls. Okay, that's it for the tutorial. It was just a general overview. Helpful for GSM.
That pretty much covers everything.
Yeah. Dialer campaigns. That's status. CDR statistic. Well, I hope that the interface is self-explanatory. Okay. Let's stop the recording then. Okay. Good.